Well, I want to tell you something about my life in catalysis. I've been in the business for almost 60 years now, having started my work over at Dartmouth College and then continuing in Princeton. I've been in Princeton since 1931, which makes it 57 years. All these years have been devoted to catalytic work. My family background is Russian. My father came to this country as a dean of a theological seminary in 1905 in Minneapolis, where I was born. We were supposed to stay in the United States for 12 years and go back to the Soviet Union to Russia in 1917. But because of the revolution, we didn't go back, and so we can be considered as the first, the -1 emigration to the United States from Russia. I want to tell you something about my life in catalysis. I started in catalysis in 1928 and 29, working with Turkevich on a summer job in Bayway Laboratories. He got me interested in catalysis, and the proposition, the project I had to deal with was conversion of methane with acetic acid into acetyl chloride. We'll scrape it, take it back. Start all over again. Okay. I want to tell you something about my life in catalysis, in which I've been for almost 60 years. My father originally came to this country as a dean of a theological seminary in Minneapolis, where I was born. I was slated to go into the Russian church, so my early training was in church history and church theology. But then the revolution came and we never went back to Russia. And I changed the course of my studies to American studies. My father was then dean of the cathedral in New York, and I was placed in the Columbia Grammar School, where we had a very poor teacher of chemistry. The teacher was so bad I got interested in it, and the more I got interested in it, the better I liked it. I was slated to go to Dartmouth, and when I matriculated over there, I was asked by the president what I wanted to be, and I said I wanted to be a chemist. He said, "You must see Professor Richardson, who teaches the course in chemistry. He will guide you." I went to see Professor Richardson. Professor Richardson said, "Oh, you're going into chemistry? There are too many lousy chemists already in the country." I took his course, hit it for a perfect score, and became a chemist ever since. This is how I got started. I majored in chemistry at Dartmouth. I had some very good fellow students. George Whelan was a classmate of mine. Thompson was another classmate. Sherp was another classmate. They all went to Harvard, and I was retained as an instructor in chemistry for 3 years at Dartmouth. During one of the summers, I had a job over at the Bayway Refinery, working with Turkevich in the catalytic division. First catalytic problem I had was reaction of methane with phosgene to make acetyl chloride. This was a rather hazardous reaction to carry out, but I managed to set up a shack outside the research laboratories and got some yields of acetyl chloride. Turkevich said I should go to Princeton for my graduate work and work with Hugh Taylor, who was the authority in chemistry at that time. So I went and applied for it and got an assistantship at Princeton and came here in 1931 as a graduate student and a research assistant. I worked with Hugh Taylor on adsorption of hydrocarbons on oxide catalysts, and we'll also work with Henry Eyring and quantum chemistry.